A family from Lincolnshire are warning about the devastating impact of a disease carried by ticks. Abigail has suffered from Lyme disease after she was bitten by a tick while on holiday 2 years ago. New guidance on treatment has been issued, but for some, a lack of recognition of the disease has caused years of suffering. Simon Spark has this report.
Shorts, but this tick had got under the T-shirt and got onto the...
Ex-rugby player Matt Dawson, actor Alec Baldwin and singer Avril Lavigne are all stars with the same thing in common. They've all had Lyme disease, spread from a bite from an infected tick. But it's only by quick diagnosis and treatment with antibiotics that gives the best chance of a full recovery, something that doesn't always happen. Abigail was a normal 11-year-old girl before she became ill after a trip to the Peak District.
Abigail got a headache, then she just fell ill from that. So it was kind of like a flu-like illness, headache, sore throat, aching all over, and then she just never got better.
Because there were no obvious signs of Lyme disease, Abigail has never had a diagnosis on the NHS. Her parents had to seek private help from abroad, and she's now treated in Dublin. But 16 months on, aged 13, she still hasn't been well enough to go back to school.
I stay in bed for most of the day. Some days I do come down I do come down and just stay on the sofa, but most days I just stay in bed because I can't move. Yeah.
It's a terrible shame when somebody's life falls apart for the want of a few weeks' antibiotics and a bit of lateral thinking by the person you go to for help if you think that you might have Lyme disease.
There have been numerous protests in Parliament Square, but it's only in the last year that draft Lyme disease guidelines have been introduced by NICE, the National Institute of Health and Care Excellence.
We are seeing more and more of Lyme disease because of increasing public awareness and obviously awareness in general practice.
Official figures show the number of cases of Lyme disease have more than doubled over the last 10 years. But Lyme Disease UK says this is likely to be a gross underestimate, as they only show cases where a blood test has confirmed the condition. They think these figures should be at least tripled to get a more accurate figure, which is why they're pushing for people to prevent a tick bite in the first place. Protecting against them is relatively straightforward, a bit like how you protect against mosquitoes. So use a repellent that's effective against ticks, it should say on it. Wear long sleeves, tuck trousers into socks to reduce exposure, and wearing lighter clothing will make ticks become more visible. Now in the spring, when ticks are most active, it's hoped that increased awareness is the most effective measure of all. Simon Spark, BBC Look North.